Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before I go any further, sincere apologies for the, again, absolute shit show that was last week. The video was fine, the uploading and the editing was something else. It was a complete nightmare. I don't think I've ever had it go so spectacularly wrong as it did last week. The software for the editing, which isn't really editing, all I do is I cobble together my intro, part one of the video, the clapperboard, part two, and the outro. It's as simple as that. And for some reason, halfway through, it kept kicking me off. Now, bearing in mind that cobbling together a 2-hour video takes approximately 2 to 2.5 hours. So to get 3/4 or halfway through it and have it kicked off is bloody heartbreaking, and to have it happen 3 times was just an absolute nightmare. I was beginning to wonder whether I would ever actually be able to upload this damn thing. I know what it was. It was the it was the sheer length of the video and all the other bits that I was trying to cobble together with it, including outtakes and bits and pieces. It was obviously a little bit too much for the software, and it was letting me know in no uncertain terms. So I'm going to be doing it slightly different today. The first 30 minutes, which I'm recording literally right now at 8:24. As soon as I finish this, I will be putting an intro and an outro on that one and uploading it to YouTube, and that is going to be part 1. And while that is doing its thing, I'll be recording part 2. And hopefully, if I'm only recording sort of 2 30-minute videos, it should be able to handle it, and I should hopefully have the first half uploaded by, I would think, around about 11 o'clock, but please don't hold me to that, because if last week was anything to go by, anything could happen. So we'll see how we go. So I do apologise for the lateness that last week's video actually appeared online. I can't remember what time it was. Was it about 10 o'clock or something? It was some, oh no, it was earlier. It was about 6, because I left it uploading to YouTube, and I think it took about 4 or 5 hours to do. So even that wasn't quick, and I'm fairly sure, as I remember, that doing half-hour videos, they do upload a lot quicker to YouTube. So we'll see how we go, but I think it'll probably work out a little bit better, because it'll give me a bit of a break in between videos. I can take 10-20 minutes, have a cuppa, another one, while I'm sort of sorting the notes out for the second half, and hopefully it'll be a lot more, not so much polished, but a lot more competent, let's say. But we'll see how we go. Oh, and to add insult to injury, I found out later on that I actually put part 3 of the video last week, which I believe was Rob Gear's top 10. I actually did that twice, so you'd have watched it once and straight away it have flipped over. You'd have watched it for a second time, which is why the video was 1 hour and 10 minutes and not an hour. So basically, fuck up from start to finish. But we have high hopes for today. Let's see how we go. Guy, happy birthday, the 2nd of August 1977. What a year to be born, mate. Saturday Night Fever, Close Encounters, Star Wars, Candle Shoe. Does it get any better? Happy birthday, mate, for then. And also happy birthday to Jason for Monday. How old are you now, dude? Is it about, are you about 40 or something? Something like that? I don't know. Anyway, happy birthday, mate. Now then, winning YouTube Entertainer of the Month. It absolutely meant the world to me. I know I did a little video about it last week, but I'll just say a couple of words now, sort of very quickly. I really do appreciate everybody that nominated me. I even kind of copped that up a bit last week. I went for it virtually minutes after I'd read that I'd won it. I thought, I need to get a video done right now. So I did this video, completely forgot to mention that you need to drop your nominations in the comments. I forgot to do honourable mentions, which I'm very, very sorry. It was very, very difficult to pick 5 out of all the brilliant channels that I follow. I kind of narrowed it down, but there were a couple that I forgot to mention. And I can't remember what they are now because I've not written them down. I'm so sorry. Here we go again. I'll try and mention them in the second half if I remember, but it was difficult to name 5. Um, I mean, it kind of gets round to everybody in the end, doesn't it? Obviously, somebody else will win it next month, and I'll be nominating for sure the one that I probably would have nominated this month if I'd have had more nominations, if that makes any sense. But thanks ever so much, everybody, for nominating me. Thank God, with that video not being quite how I wanted it to be, that somebody took the reins, a couple of you actually, and shared it. And basically explained on there that you need to put your comments in your nominations in the comments below. I kind of realised sort of minutes after I'd done it, I thought, oh my God, could today go any more wrong? But it was a lovely surprise, and I was really, really chuffed with it, and I still am. The votes are coming in, the nominations, I should say. So I'll just read out a couple of the lovely comments that you've left. Callie, congratulations, hon, well deserved, and thank you so much for the nomination. You're more than welcome, Callie. You've got a cracking channel there with Guy, so if anybody deserves to win it, it's you, and obviously everybody else. You've got to be completely impartial with these things. Dan, I didn't realise who this was. He comes across, I think he's A20 something or other, and I thought, who's that? And Dan sort of at work, he's a guy that works in our IT department, and he said, yeah, it's me. Dan Newport, well deserved, Tony. You're one of the most genuine and kind-hearted people I know. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. Keep doing what you do. I intend to. I'm really, really enjoying it nowadays. Even with the complete cock-ups like what happened last week, I still kind of enjoy it. I still get a kick out of it. So I'm not going anywhere, certainly not yet anyway. Scott, congratulations, Tony, very well deserved. Awesome video, mate, and thank you so much for nominating me. You are more than welcome, mate, and for saying those kind words, really appreciate it. You're most welcome, Scott. As I said with the others, you've got an absolutely cracking channel. I'm sort of halfway through watching your birthday haul. Hopefully I can watch it in between videos and comment on it in the second half, but I will get that watched. There's another one here. I've got it written as broccoli, but it isn't. It's Brocco 1L. Now I don't know whether this is a new subscriber, but he commented anyway. So welcome to the channel, mate. If you have subscribed, and if you haven't, just please subscribe. I need as many as I can get nowadays. Congratulations, Tony. Fantastic channel. Thanks very much, mate. Matthew's channel, always a trip back to the video store. He's got my vote. Matthew Binney, Aussie VHS. Brilliant channel. Absolutely superb. If you're into VHS or the memory of VHS, you could do a lot worse than pop over to his channel and subscribe to that. Jason K, our Ginger Ninja, congratulations, Tony, well deserved, mate, much appreciated, Jace. Guy, congratulations, mate, and thanks for the nomination, means the world. You're more than welcome, honestly. You've got a brilliant channel there, as I've said before. Really enjoying the new season of Honey Geeky Show, and I haven't seen the latest one yet. It went up, I think it was about Wednesday, Console Wars. That kind of thing is slightly out of my reach because I never actually got into the gaming side of things, I think I've said before. But I will definitely watch it because you have a habit, or you and Callie have a habit, of making the inaccessible accessible to people that have never been into that particular world. I bought many Blu-rays, including what's that Clive Barker one that Callie was talking about the other week, and I thought, God, I've got to see that. Not Netherworld. Callie, tell me what it is. It's a Clive Barker one. Netherworld. No, it's not Netherworld. Tell me what it is, please. But you did a review of that movie, and I immediately went onto Amazon and ordered a copy, and I still haven't watched it yet. So, and you put, guys, see, I told you you're an entertainer. We were talking about this the other week. I think you called me an entertainer, and I believe Rick called me an entertainer, and I said that I'd never thought of myself as any kind of an entertainer. I just sit here with a brew talking bollocks about films and stuff like that. But you all came back and basically said you are an entertainer, and that's what you just said there. Rick, well done, mate. I'm torn between my mate Scott and my Cobber Binny. Cobber. Oh God! But I'm going to go with Scott this time, as Binny's channel has a lot more exposure because Binny is a legend. He is, absolutely is. So my vote goes to Little Scott, the movie critic. He's a great lad with a great channel. Absolutely, completely, 100% agree with you on that one, Rick. Rock God. My vote goes to Scott, the movie critic. He's got such a great channel and is a genuinely lovely lad. Good luck, Scott, my friend. Scott, you're getting some votes, dude. Steve Mack, well done, Tony, and thanks for the nomination. You're more than welcome, Steve. Looking forward to watching your latest Let's Talk Criterion video, which I believe dropped yesterday. Is it a movie called Dreams? I'll be watching that one a little bit later on. Let's see, Rob's vintage video. Congrats, dude. Cheers, mate. Much appreciated. Mike, the real fifth Beatle. Well earned, Tone. Thanks, Mike. Much appreciated, mate. Gareth, congratulations. Thanks, mate. Matthew Binney, Aussie VHS. Congratulations. Thanks for the shout out. Thanks for nominating me. You're more than welcome, Matthew. As I've said before, you've got a cracking channel there. And it is just pure nostalgia watching you talking about these VHS tapes. I've still got quite a few upstairs. Maybe I should get some of them down and start shoving them off. I can't remember what I've got now, but they're all in plastic boxes upstairs. I'll get a couple of them down in time for next week if I think on, and I'll show you what my VHS collection. You can see some of them behind me here, but most of those are music videos. So I kind of separated all the music videos and put them in one place, but I do have some movies upstairs which I shall be showing off at some point very soon. Now, some comments on last week's video. Scott, excellent video, Tony, loved it, mate. Thank you for the birthday message. You're more than welcome, mate. Really appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying Elliot's channel. He's a great guy with a great channel. I'm loving his reviews, and I like his style as well. He did a review last night of Meg 2 The Trench, which I believe he'd been to see at the cinema. My God. Not much love for Meg 2 The Trench, which I'm also finding on the group generally. I don't think there are many people looking forward to it, and I don't know why. I thought the original was absolutely brilliant, thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, Jason Statham doesn't take himself seriously, and I believe he doesn't in this new instalment. I'm really looking forward to watching it, and I get the feeling that when it's released on 4K, this is another one I think that I'm going to treat myself to and watch it in the best possible quality. But yeah, Elliot's channel is absolutely brilliant. I've subscribed, obviously, and I get notifications when his new videos drop, and I always end up watching them. So yeah, I agree with you on that one, mate. Jason Kerr, our Ginger Ninja, again watching Tony at work, but I will make sure I get my comment in. As always, awesome video, Tony. Cheers, Jace. I will be getting around to doing a few collection videos, going through my Arrow, Umbrella, Cinema Cult, etc., time permitting. It is a time-consuming thing to do, and I don't think anybody that doesn't do this quite gets how much, not so much planning, but the stuff that you have to do. I've now got it down to a fine art. I will try to do sort of 15 minutes a night on the notes that I've got in front of me here, and by normally Saturday I've got it pretty much sussed, and all I have to do is sort of turn the computer on and sit in front and chat. But it does take a lot of planning, and it does. So I can't totally get it, but I would love to see more of those collection videos, mate. I like nothing more than sitting and watching somebody holding up 5 or 6 videos, here we go, I've gone back to the 80s, 5 or 6 DVDs and Blu-rays, and basically saying these are my favourite comedies, college comedies, or whatever. I'm doing one myself later on. I've picked out 5 Blu-rays that I bought completely blind, knowing very little about them, just basically based on public opinion of what they were like. And I've got 5 of those next to me here for part 2. Let's see, Zombievers. This is you still, Jace. Zombievers, great film, absolute classic cheese fest. Dave Oliver didn't think so. He fucking hated it. Absolutely loathed it with a passion. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I will have to take a look, and I'll see which side of the fence I fall on with that one. That Stallone collection looks great, and what a selection of classics. Demolition Man is a lot of fun, one of my favourite Stallone films. That came about, basically somebody came to me at work and said that I'd put some kind of a post about Demolition Man on the group, and what did I think of it? And I couldn't remember even putting it on. I said, well, it was Stallone's week with my favourite movies, so anybody could have put that one on. But I said I hadn't seen it, and he told me, well, not told me, but it said that I would really, really enjoy it. So rather than just buying that one film, I saw this collection and thought, you know what, there are 4 out of 5 there that I've not seen. I think the only one I'd seen on that collection was Tango and Cash, which I do love. So I thought, for 14 quid, why not? So I will let you know when I finally get round to looking at those. Rick, I'm watching Tony on the 80-inch screen. Just throwing that one in the bag. 80-inch? What the fuck, man? How much do they pay you, supermarket people? I want a job at your place. I want to be able to afford an 80-inch screen. Mind you, I'd like the room as well. I think the one I've got at the moment is either 60 or 65 inch, and if I go any bigger, I don't know. It's very tempting, I have to admit. When I read that, I thought, oh God, yeah, please. I'll watch the second half after I get back from the sweatshop. Oh, you're obviously working then. Steve Mack, you stick to your presentation. Start again. You stick to your presentation style. It suits your content best, and you always hit your rhythm after a few minutes. Thanks, Steve. I mean, that presentation style that you're referring to is basically just me. I'm exactly. If you were sitting here talking to me now, I'd be exactly like this. What you see is what you get. I can't be doing with all these false sort of. I see a lot of them, and I still see them on YouTube now. And when I see the way they present, it just turns me straight off. When they're trying to sound like Radio 1 DJs or something, and there's jump cuts and pictures tumbling about all over the place. It's not my style. This is me. So yeah, that presentation style is literally just the way I am, mate. I'm doing my first live stream on the 10th of August, so that will be interesting. No teleprompter for that, of course. Rather you than me. I think I got asked to do something live once, and I daren't do it. Was it you, Guy, that asked me to do one of these live one morning? Yeah, I think it was, and I sort of wimped out of it. It's like, why are they not going to? I can't just sit here with no notes or anything and just talk. No, maybe, possibly one day, I don't know. Certainly won't be an hour though, that's for sure. Shout Factory have region locked People Under the Stairs 4K, but so far the others have been okay. Really, really nervous about this, as I've said before. I would love to import one 4K just to see whether it works, and nothing will make me happier than to see it load up properly and not come across as this disc is not compatible with your region, which I've fallen foul of twice now when I imported Can't Stop the Music. And thank you very much, Jace, by the way, for the picture of the village people, or as you put it, the Stapenhill village people. I am the cowboy, apparently. If you've not seen it, just scroll through the group. You'll see it on last week's comments. I thought that was brilliant. That really, really made me laugh. Let's see, where are we? I got caught out with that one, but have second region free player, so I can see the Blu-ray version, but was slightly disappointed. Loved WKRP, Les Nessman, the newsreader, and the blonde secretary. Not surprising. I loved that series. It was essential Friday night viewing after the news. I'm trying now to locate, and I found them on Amazon, season 2 and 3. I would love the full set, and I would love to start watching them on Friday night, roughly when I used to watch them in the 70s. You refer to long movies. This is a subject that keeps on going. I love this. There's Santaniago, 7 hours. War and Peace, the Russian film, clocks in at 8 hours, but it's gripping. It'd have to be for 8 hours. And Nymphomaniac, the director's cut, is 4.5 hours. Abel Gance's Napoleon, just under 5.5 hours on BFI. Gene Dealman is of 3.5 hours, needs some stamina to sit through that lot. Guess what? Criterion did a nice version of Night of the Living Dead in the UK, and there's a 4K in the US. Not sure I'm bothered about a 4K on that one, but I found the Criterion Night of the Living Dead on HMV, so I'll almost certainly be treating myself to that because it's got some cracking extras on it. Let's see who I've got. Chris. This was worth the wait. Thank you, sir. You're more than welcome, Chris. You know I love your vids, as is Would love to see some pop-ups of movie posters or movie covers, but do what you feel comfortable doing. It works. But any film you mention, I always give them a Google anyways, or just add them straight to my digital collection, and sometimes 4K. I am going to be installing DaVinci Resolve on the laptop, which is where I do the editing, such as it is. And I'm going to give it a go, and I would love to learn how to do that. Whereas if I mention a movie now, the poster just comes up full screen and sits there, and sometimes it zooms out from it or zooms into it, and maybe a couple of pictures of stills from the actual movie. I don't think I want to go any more polished than that. I think things are fine the way they are, but I would love to learn to do that, especially when I'm talking about sort of obscure films that you might not have heard of. So I will be looking into that most definitely, but I'll be installing that later today. Loving your new editions. That Stallone box sets is in my collection, and what a steal of a price you got it for. I don't know how much it was when it first came out, but I'm sure it wouldn't have been £14. And yes, to stop or my mum will shoot, it's worth the score of 3 out of 4. Enjoy that watch. I will be taking that one in at some point. I've only seen bits of it, but I will be definitely giving that a go. I may have to purchase that VHS book myself. Anything that reminds me of the good old days, like this group, makes me happy. Keep smashing it out the park. Thank you so much, Chris. I do appreciate that. I appreciate encouragement from all of you. It's good to know that you do enjoy what I do. It's what makes this worth doing. So thanks for that, Chris. Much appreciated. Mark, can he beat Tony time on Sundays, but coming home to over an hour's worth to watch after work on a Monday afternoon made my Monday a lot more bearable. Oh, thanks, Mark. I do appreciate that. It wasn't meant to be over an hour. It was supposed to be an hour. But as I said, I cobbled part 3 onto the end of it twice. So you'd have got a repeat viewing of Rob's top 10. But I do appreciate that. Jason P. Oh my Christ. Great vid as per usual, mate. Cheers, Jason. I think you jinxed it when you said within the first minute that it's going great and nothing can go wrong. You don't think I know that? And it was you that put this. The video ends on 1 hour 7 minutes. The next 10 minutes is repeated from 10 minutes ago. Have a look and you will see what I mean. Basically, Rob's top 10 features twice. Right, here we go. Mission Impossible. The first one you can tell is a TV copy. Cheesy and straight from a TV series, but then on it just gets better and better. And when you see Henry Cavill in Fallout, that has made my mind up that he should be the next Bond, which is what the original Bond poster was that I put your head on. Oh, was that him? I didn't know that. I know you will enjoy the Mission Impossible movies, and I can't wait for you to say so. I'm going to get into them, I promise you. I didn't realise the original Mission Impossible was directed by Brian De Palma, one of my favourite directors. Didn't know that for some reason. But I will be taking them in, Jace, I promise you. And Henry Cavill, since I heard they were looking, obviously, for another Bond when Daniel Craig stepped down, I thought at the time it's got to be Henry Cavill. Then I think Tom Hardy threw his hat in the ring, and I thought, oh, blimey, yeah, if they could possibly get him. But now I believe he's out of the running. So as far as I can tell, Henry Cavill, he just looks the part. Can't put my finger on it, because the only thing I've seen him in is the Tudors, where he played Henry VIII's best mate. I can't remember, Lord Suchingham or something like that, but he was really, really good in that. And when I heard he was going to be considered for Bond, or he'd auditioned for it, I thought perfect. So hopefully we're going to get that coming through at some point soon, because we've heard nothing at all on the Bond thing since No Time to Die came out. Percy Adcox was the video shop in Derby Road opposite Quick Save. He did TV and stuff downstairs, and upstairs was a tiny room of VHS films. It was like a cavern. I remember it. As soon as you said Percy Adcock, I thought, yeah, I remember that one now. I used to like it in there. He used to get really, not odd titles, but the ones that the bigger stores didn't have, he used to have, which I used to, the independent movies, that kind of thing. I used to love all that. Paris, Texas, I remember renting that one from there. Harry Dean Stanton. Blood Simple, I think, was another one. All brilliant movies. You remember the Rocky IV poster on the door, the full size thing. Did you get that in the end? Oh no, you didn't. It had already been reserved by someone. Let me see what else is here. This was the kids. It's all in. Oh, as for the. Oh, now then. As for the video, it's all in hand. I have two in mind. One where I say a few things, and the other is the latest tour of my man cave and collection of all movie stuff. That won't be for a few months yet, though, but the first one may come sooner than you think. It did come sooner than we think, Jace. You actually posted it a couple of days ago, and I've got some things to say on that one, but that'll come in the second half. Let's see, Gareth, thanks for the mention. I remember those TV shows. Yeah, WKR, what were they? I showed two last week and I can't remember what they were. I think one was Twilight Zone. But yeah, classics. Looking forward, by the way, to watching your live stream of movies from 1973. I love those kinds of videos. So I'm looking forward to taking a look at that one. I think it's about an hour and a half, so I need to set a bit of time aside for that one. And you put a post on about Adventures of a Plumber's Mate, which was one of those sort of softcore comedies of the 70s, in the same vein as the Confessions films. And you put, my favourite thing is seeing the UK at that time, and I quite agree. I have seen so many movies, especially from the early 70s, where a simple 10-second tracking shot of the high street is just magical to me. And seeing the insides of people's houses, the decors, the things that they used to do to their houses back in the 70s, I love all of that. You just get this wave of nostalgia wash over you the second you see that kind of thing. So I'm completely with you on that. And I'm really looking forward. I only found this morning completely by accident, scrolling through the group. I must have missed it. You put, I made a video about my cinema experiences in the 80s and 90s. Memories Made by Movies Trilogy Part 1 cinema. I can't wait to see this. I'm going to try and take it in before I do the second half, but if not, that'll give me something to talk about next week for sure. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I love anything like that, anything nostalgia wise, memories wise. I get the feeling I'm going to watch it and the first thing I'm going to say is, Gareth, do more, mate, please. So yeah, I look forward to that. Right, I'm coming up to 27 minutes. I'm going to be going into the second half. Let me just see what I've got here. Yeah, that's all the comments for this week's video. So I'm going to take a little break, and I'll be back with you a little bit later on. I'm going to grab another cup of coffee, have a bicky, collate the notes for the second half. I'm going to stick this on the editing process now, and then I'm going to upload it straight to YouTube, and hopefully this one should be up by, let's see, I would say about 11 o'clock at the outside, and then the next half, the other 30-second one, I'll do exactly the same. Hopefully this will work a lot better, and you'll have two instalments to look forward to. So take care, folks, and I'll be back with you in another hour or two, I should think. Take care.